Thank you alongside Mike Johnson, Jeff O'Neill, and Darren Drager. A Battle of Ontario that looked to be over when Drake Batherson took that 4-minute penalty in overtime in Game 4 on Saturday night. And it looked like it would be a Leafs sweep, is suddenly very much alive. Stunning fashion now. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the Sens win in Game 5, how have they found life when it looked like they were done?
Well, I guess it's time to start believing the confidence of the Ottawa Senators, because coming into Game 5, Ottawa talked about how confident the group was, that they thought that the series was much closer than 3-1. And this was a near perfect playoff road win. So, of course, ownership and management of the Ottawa Senators, the leadership of the group, is going to be thrilled with the outcome because, again, this is near perfection as far as playoff hockey goes. They have nothing to lose, and they played that way, but it was the attention to detail, overcoming the adversity of the penalties that they took, defensively, how well they played, and the fact they got scoring from all corners.
One of the things about this series we're looking forward to is when, if at all, Ottawa could apply pressure to Toronto.
Yeah.
Scoreboard pressure, historical pressure.
Right.
This is where they're at. Yeah. They are exactly where they want to be. Of course, they'd rather be up 3-2, but right now they feel like they are getting better. They're playing better. They're full of confidence, and Toronto is unsure of themselves and feeling the heat.
Well, we said after Game 4 it would take one more Ottawa win and a Game 6 back in Ottawa to truly raise those old ghosts and demons. Is it fair to say, O-Dog, because you've lived through a lot of them, that are we there?
Oh, we're certainly there, James. Like, what a performance from the Ottawa Senators. They look like the veteran team that was closing out the series. The goal was to get one early and then go in absolute 1995 New Jersey Devil lockdown mode, and that's exactly what they did. The time and space for the Toronto Maple Leafs best players were not there. They could not find a way to get the puck to the net. They could not make plays, and they defended well. Their goaltender was on point and on his game. Everything, if they drew up a recipe of things they wanted to do tonight, they accomplished them all. And now all the pressure and all the talk in the next 24 hours is going to ramp up.
No question.
And they're feeling very confident going into Game 6 in Ottawa.
For years, we've been looking for a closeout game for Toronto, for their stars to have a great game, a great moment. They're all capable. We've seen it for years in the regular season. And this is another one that would be knocked off where their best players weren't able to produce when they needed them to. And that's going to be troubling.
You keep using that leafiest word, and it hadn't crept up at all in the series.
There yet.
The leafiest thing ever was just millimeters from the garbage can, and it's just popped right back up, and it's alive and well right now.
We will be here for the next half hour or so, gathering you all sorts of post-game reaction. We will start in the Senators' room with Thomas Chabot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Game 1, like I said, Game 1, first experience for a lot of us. A lot of emotions, a lot of penalties. The game, take the penalties out, the game was still tight. It was still a tight game, and you know what? It's on us. The whole time it was about us to learn and get better as the series went on. And tonight was another step in the right direction. Do we feel like we could still play better? 100%. But you know what? You're going to enjoy the win tonight, but tomorrow we got to move on and focus on the next one.
Considering the Leafs' history with their playoffs over the last how many years, how does it feel for your group to be in a position to effectively plant a seed of doubt with your win tonight?
Yeah, it's we just went through it. They were up 3-0. I'm not too worried about that. I'm worried about our group. I'm worried about our team, the way we play, the way we show up every night, and we come to compete and play our game. Not worried about the other side. And I've said it all along, even when we lost the first couple games, is the reason when we got here is by playing our game, and it led us to being in this position and playing playoff hockey. And I said it all along that the quicker we get to our game and the better we play it, then we give ourselves a chance every single night like we did all season. So obviously, like I said, it's great to win the last 2 games, but now you got to turn the page, and we're going home, and we're going to have to do the same thing all over again.
When you see
like the pressure shifted in the series?
What's that?
I was just going to say, can you describe the feeling in this room as you head back to Ottawa for Game 6?
Yeah, the feeling's good. We played a good hockey game, good road game tonight. Like I said, we didn't give them a whole lot. We played some good hockey. We played a good 60 minutes. Penalty kill was great. Getting a big shorthanded goal there in the third. So, like I said, everybody was part of it. It was a full team effort, and that's all that matters.
Do you feel like the pressure has shifted? Do you guys have momentum on your side now?
Yeah, we won 2 games in a row. I'm sure you guys would have said the same thing when they won 3 in a row at the start of the series. So Obviously, you like I said, you gotta enjoy the win. Obviously, it's great to come on the road and make a big win, but at the end of the day, the series is far from over. We're still facing a very, very talented team, and you got to focus on your group, and you got to focus on the areas that you still improve and be better, and make sure that next game we show up and do that.
What did you?
Big 3-point night for the captain, Brady Tkachuk.
No, I think it's just a belief amongst each other. I've always said you're never out of it. And, you know, for us tonight, it was nothing other than winning Game 5. There's no other thought about any other games in this series. It's all about this next game and this next opportunity, and nothing farther than that.
You told hometown fans on Saturday night that your team would be back. What made it happen here tonight?
It took everybody. It took, I mean, our best player tonight was Linus, and made some huge saves for us. And I really think it took everybody on the bench, everybody in our room, because everybody wanted to win. Our will to win was high, and I think it paid off. And it's all about now resetting and getting refocused come Thursday.
Considering what we know about the Leafs and their recent playoff futility, what does it mean to you to plant a seed of doubt with this win tonight?
I mean, it's a new year. I mean, it's a new team. So, I mean, it's whenever you lose 2 in a row, I mean, it's not a good feeling. I mean, we lost 3 and feeling. So, for us, it's, you know, we just got to keep focusing on the task at hand. You can't focus on anything farther than that, things that you can't control. Just our mindset right now is just these are do or die games, and right now we're just leaving it all out there, doing whatever it takes to win.
Talk a little bit about your penalty kill. I mean, Game 4, you get a shorty, you kill off that 4 minutes, and tonight another short-handed goal.
Great play by Gods, great goal by Cuz. It's just, I think, confidence. Of course, the first couple of games, I would say the penalty killers weren't happy with the result, even though there's some good things that they've done. But they've stepped up. I mean, Game 4 was a turning point for us to getting that kill, and I think that just gave them so much confidence, and it's translating into our 5-on-5 game.
I know you've been playing double elimination hockey for a while now, but going into that third period with 1-0 lead, is it any different in this room?
Honestly, no. It's everybody just, I wouldn't say decided, but had the same mindset that, no, we just play our game. We don't sit back. We don't just let them keep coming and hold on. It's still try to dictate our game, and I think that's just lessons that we've learned all year, and we were finally able to use that, and that just keep going. No reason to sit back and let them keep coming at us. As keep dictating the game.
You mentioned a lot.
If you had to pinpoint one element, and Brady was asked about it there, that has been flipped on its head the last 2 games, it would be the Leafs power play, the Sens PK. Remember, when they were up 3-0, the Leafs were 5 for 9 on the power play, and most of those goals had come in the first few seconds of their power plays. Since then, 0 for 7, and the Senators have 2 massive shorthanded goals. How have they completely reversed things here?
Well, I mean, obviously much better execution, way better down in front of their own net, and it's kept them in games, kept them in the series. The series would have been over in overtime of Game 4 if not for the good Ottawa penalty kill. In this game, you're thinking, okay, you know what, it's 1-0 Ottawa, just a terrible decision. We talked about discipline, this penalty by Ridley Gregg. Terrible idea, but not only do they get bailed out by the penalty kill, they get the insurance marker, Gaudette, to Cousins, who's been kind of quiet, and all of a sudden 1-0 becomes 2-0. They kill it off, they get the lead, and it was Ottawa now not so fearful when they get a penalty that something bad's going to happen.
And I understand there might be some fatigue involved there, Johnny, but William Nylander on that back check, that's a pretty critical time of the hockey game, and you see him just skating by the net as the puck goes in. I get it, you can be tired, but look where William Nylander is and look where Cousins is. They're dead even in the middle of the ice, and he just blows right by him. Maybe he got nothing in the tank, but that is urgent time. And I kind of warned you a little bit about the power play, James, saying, like, if you get some forecheckers that are aggressive and some forwards that are aggressive on the PK, it might end up burning you. That's 2 games in a row now. Do you want to take a chance on the third one, putting 5 forwards out there? I don't know if they're going to look at changing that, but I would look into it. You can't risk a third one. It could be too critical, man.
I just say this, when you run the numbers for the entire season, you don't get scored on more often with 5 forwards versus 4 and 1.
Right.
Would you like a defenseman playing a 2-on-1 there? Sure, but over the course of the whole year, it doesn't really hurt you defensively. It's hurt them the last 2 games, no doubt. but I can't see them going away from the
It's a fine
forwards.
line because you need the 5 forwards to score you a goal because they're 0 for forever and they need to score a power play
Well, this is
goal.
the problem.
I've been getting sent some crazy stats I don't even want to go to because I don't believe them. But you have to weigh that. You can't give up a shorty, and you also got to get on the board. It's just not happening.
No, look, I mean, first 2 games of the series, maybe 3, we're talking about the maturity of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The fact that this team has a different feel to it. And I still see that, even though they lost that game handily.
This felt familiar. If you're a
maybe
Leaf
the
fan,
third period.
This felt familiar.
But I guess what I'm looking for, though, and this isn't a pile on the captain, Austin Matthews. You know, for the most part, the big boys, the core 4 of the Toronto Maple Leafs have played well, for the most part. But wasn't this a game where 34 could have found a way? There had to be a moment, especially in that third period. Maybe it's generating that scoring goal or drawing another penalty, something significant, symbolic.
Or scoring on that 2-on-1 earlier in the game that maybe changed
I mean, there were
the tone
chances,
of the game.
but, you know, that's what it feels like. They needed a moment.
We hope to hear from both coaches. The first one at the podium is the Leafs' Craig Berube.
The team's game tonight.
Good start. You know, they got the first goal. Thought they defended pretty well after that. I thought, you know, we make a bad play in the power play. Like we didn't. We had an opportunity on the power play to, you know, get it back, and didn't happen. We got to be more direct there with our power play. I didn't think our power play was direct enough tonight in, you know, shot volume and getting stuff to the net. But you know, we got to. And then the third period, like, you know, that obviously that power play hurt us.
Craig, it's a new year and a new team, but the core has had playoff heartbreak in the past. What's your sense of the group after the last 2 games?
Well, I'm not feeling anything. I think our group tonight was focused and ready to go. I liked our start of the game. I thought it was good. I thought our first period was good. You know, so I don't sense that at all. We're up 3-2 in the series.
Craig, what did you see from the Matthews line tonight? Did they generate enough for your liking?
Yeah. I thought, like, not enough speed through the neutral zone with that line, and then creating things in the offensive zone off that. Like, they were just a little bit late on things and didn't create enough stoppages in the offensive zone. And, you know, it was one and done too much for me with that line tonight, you know, in the offensive zone.
Maybe part of that, Craig, when you do get in the offensive zone, how do you get more in front of Ullmark things? You seem to see a lot tonight and make those saves.
Well, for me, I thought that they had it jammed up with 5 guys right in front of the crease the whole night in the slot area. And I thought we forced too many things in there. And, you know, we could have went low to high and got a little bit movement. And you know, our D got to shoot pucks from the top when they can. And, you know, the forward's job is to get in front of the goalie. But we killed a lot of our opportunities, I thought, and probably more in the second period than any other period, where we gained the back of the net. We had time. We come out and we tried to force it into the crease area too much, and you know, killed our momentum by doing that. So, but yeah, we got to get in front of Ullmark. Obviously, we got to get shots through from the point on them, and we got to have traffic and find some second and third opportunities around the net for sure.
Craig, what was the thought process about moving Max Domi up to that second line?
Just trying to create some offense in the third period, that's all. Nothing else.
Do you address the group after a game like that?
Yeah, all the time. I always address the group in the playoffs after a game.
What was your message tonight?
Stick with it. We're up 3-2 in the series. You know, it's playoff hockey. There's a lot of ups and downs. We need composure. I talked about it. And we got to stay composed and stay poised. And, you know, like I said, we'll figure out some things and be better next game that we'll work on, you know. But I'm not, you know, that's what it's about. We're up 3-2 in the series, so we're confident, and we're going to go in Ottawa where we won a game already. So that's about it.
Craig, Ottawa scored from distance a fair bit, from the blue line a couple, from 40 feet a few. Is that a concern for you about them getting those chances? Is that a concern for Anthony? Is that just the way the game goes sometimes?
Well, it's the way the game goes sometimes, but I thought that, you know, that shot tonight, he couldn't see it. So, first of all, you know, we can do a better job off that face-off, and, you know, we got to have a block there, or we got to have guys clearing the net out in front of the net so we can see the puck. One of the two. I get guys get position sometimes, so we can block that shot, or we got to create room for our goalie, clear it out. Thanks.
Sometimes it's not just the words that the coach says, but there was that 3-second pause when he was asked about the Matthews-Marner line and were they effective enough, and you can read something into that, can you not?
I know coach speak probably better than any person on the universe, James, because I've sat in front of them for far too long during my 12 years. And when he has a delay like that, that is code for he didn't like their game. And there wasn't enough there. He talked about speed in the neutral zone, one-and-done offense. And if you're going to say that they had some opportunities and they didn't capitalize, so that means they played well, that's just not the case. But I will say one thing. If you do capitalize on the opportunities you get, because that's all there was available tonight, a few opportunities, and you want your star players these chances. And that's been the same game all the time in these elimination type situations. They might have one, they might have two, and they just can't bury it. So it's not about playing awful. It's not like they're just a complete no-show. But those opportunities, they never go in. It's the same game all the time, and they got to figure it out. So he talked about their game 5-on-5 where there wasn't a lot of speed, and he talked about composure as well. So I'm pretty sure he said, you guys got to be composed and stay with the game plan. But he also probably said, there's a bunch of guys in here that need to step up and get the job done if you guys want to advance.
But if the players are going to take their cues from the coach, Craig Berube is calm.
Yeah.
He is composed. He does exude an air of confidence. He has been there. He understands the journey to go to win a Stanley Cup. And I think in that sense, having Craig Berube there is a positive for the Toronto Maple Leafs because he doesn't panic behind the bench. He's not excitable. He is very much under control, and he's right. They are still up 3-2, and he's trying to spin it in a positive way going forward.
Yeah, I mean, 3-4 times in the interview, he talked about reminding the players that you're up 3-2 in the series, and you have an opportunity to close it out on Thursday. I'll be curious as early as tomorrow as to whether or not, I don't think anybody asked that question, not in the sound bites that we used there, but whether or not he's considering a lineup change. He's not going to disclose that after losing that game
Nick
tonight.
Robertson back in?
He got Nicky Robertson out there. It was a knack from coming off out of the press box and scoring goals. Question is, who do you take out? If you're adding somebody, is it Pacioretty?
You can do that. You can certainly put Nick Robertson in the lineup, but this is not about Pacioretty or Nick Robertson. Not one bit.
No.
We're going to have Travis Green in just a couple minutes here. First, the goaltender for the Leafs, Anthony Stolarz.
Again, it's a good effort by us. They capitalized on 2 chances, and we just seem a little snake bitten. Getting pucks by Linus tonight.
What do you see on the Chabot goal?
Not much. I mean, again, they pull it. There's a number of bodies, and I think I got a little piece of it. But he makes a good shot, and it's just one you kind of just got to try to keep fighting for a sight line and making a save.
What's the feeling in this room right now, Anthony? The last 2 games.
I mean, we like our game. I mean, we outshot them, and we're doing a lot of good things. It's it's always the toughest game to win is the 4th one. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you were to tell us before the series we're going to be up 3-2, going back to their place, that's a position that we'll take.
What did you learn last year being part of that run about what it takes to kind of deal with the adversity when it hits in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's no team's just going to lay over, and they've come out hard, but like I said, that 4th win's always the toughest, and it's a little adversity for us, and it's not even like we're doing too many things wrong. It's just like I said, a little snake bitten right now, but I like our game. I like the way we're playing. They're making my job easy. It's just fighting for that extra 1 save, and just trying to get traffic there net as well.
Anthony, you've been beaten on a few long shots this series. Is that anything you're concerned about? Is that just the way the game goes sometimes?
I mean, it's playoff hockey. I mean, I've been watching a lot of it, and you look at that Florida game, 2 or 3 goals from the blue line. I mean, that's playoff hockey right there. It's just comes down to commitment and blocking shots, fighting through screens, and just wanting to that will to block it and get to the net. That's playoff hockey right there in a nutshell. And right now they're doing those little things to get there. So it's gonna be up to us to kind of try to battle through that and try to do the same thing to their goalie as well.
You mentioned the snake-bitten nature. What can you guys do to keep the confidence up, I guess, in the next 48 hours?
Just kind of keep doing what we're doing. I mean, we like I said, we like our game. We like where it's at. So for us, it's just about getting pucks in the net, getting bodies in the net, and just trying to make him uncomfortable. We had a few posts tonight, so it's just about continuing the process. Like I said, it's not going to be easy. It's one more game for us to close this out. So we just got to continue to do what we're doing.
Anthony, do you feel like Ottawa's playing with more confidence as they're getting this playoff experience and the series is going longer?
In my opinion, I mean, they got nothing to lose, right? Lose and they go home. So they're just laying it all on the line. And we haven't gotten to that point yet, but we got one more game to go in Ottawa, and give them a run for their money, and just continue to work hard. And like I said, I like where we're at. So get a good day tomorrow and get ready for the next game.
Ottawa Senators coach Travis Green.
Obviously, at this time of the year, most important. So we just played a really good road game tonight, top to bottom.
Travis, we know you're not a goalie guru in any way, but what's it been like for you seeing Linus Ullmark's play just get better and better and then culminate in a shutout win tonight?
Not surprising. I feel like I've been talking about Linus a lot this series, and we've got a lot of confidence in him, and rightfully so. And he was sharp again tonight.
Travis, just looking at these last two games, what have you guys done to turn things around and really tighten the screws on the Leafs?
Well, it's been a tight checking series. I mean, I don't think it's just these last two games. We played pretty well the 3 games before that. But I do think our individual game, and collectively, we've kind of played, our game has gotten better. I think part of it is just from not playing in the playoffs before and feeling a little more comfortable.
Coach, can I ask what the decision was, or what went behind the decision to put Dylan Cousins out on that penalty kill? I don't think he'd seen too much PK time this series.
Yeah, Rids was in the box, so we need another killer. Gods has been not doing a lot of killing either, but that was so Cuzzy's kind of our next guy up, and obviously a huge goal.
Just back to your right, please.
Travis, first 3 games you give up 5 power play goals against. The last 2, none, 2 shorthanded goals in those games. How has that been able to change for you, and what have you done to do that?
Well, it's been a big part of the series. Obviously, they've got an extremely skilled team and a really good power play, and they were on fire at the beginning, and Bomber's done a great job with our penalty kill. As far as the specifics, I don't want to get into that, but him and the penalty killers have done a good job getting the job done in the last few games for sure. It's a big part of playoffs, and again, they have a lot of good players.
Hey, Travis, sometimes momentum doesn't carry between games in the playoffs, but I'm just wondering what's your sense of the group, what these last 2 games have done for the group, the confidence of the team.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think our comfortability level playing in playoffs has gotten better. But I also said at the beginning of the series, our group has a lot of confidence in themselves. I don't think a lot of people give us much of a chance in this series, but and rightfully so. They got a really good team over there, but there's a lot of belief in our team. If we can play our game and get to our game for 60 minutes, that we have belief.
Travis, after games 3 and 4 was great atmosphere in Ottawa. Brady says he predicts it's going to be insane in that barn in game 6. Just how do you think it's going to go, and how do you think that'll give a boost to your team?
Home crowd is big in playoffs. Obviously, you hear the crowd a lot. I think both buildings have been great. I don't know if I've coached in a louder building than those 2 games in Ottawa. Expect it to be another great atmosphere.
Tell you what, the series hasn't been John Cooper, Paul Maurice. Both these coaches have been so level-headed through losses, through wins.
But I think to listen to Travis Green talk about that game would be very gratifying for him and his coaching staff, given where they started this year. They started this year with a mandate to make Ottawa better defensively. And here they are, season on the line, playing a great road, defensive, responsible, reliable game. All the things the Sens were not at times over the last 5 years, they have become under Travis Green. He deserves a lot of credit for how he's taken the same players and made them better playoff defensive players.
And for them to take down the Toronto Maple Leafs in any game, they need top to bottom. And he just mentioned that little nugget at the end. Top to bottom, I loved our game. Everybody was good. Everybody was committed to what they were doing, and they got the job done.
What's one of the number one cliches you two forwards heard your entire careers? Just throw pucks on net, especially when you can't score. And Stolarz was so good in those first 3 games. And what has happened? 2 critical goals over the last 2 games, which are just kind of from the point, throw the puck somewhere at the goal, right?
That's the way it looks. I mean, Anthony Stolarz, we just heard him dismiss that and just simply say, hey, it's playoff hockey, and that's going to happen. But we also heard Craig Berube talk about how they need more shots on net, and they need the distance game as part of their approach. So you go back to Game 4, and of course that's the overtime winner, and maybe there was a seed of doubt planted. We talked about this in the pregame because Stolarz kind of whiffs on it. I wouldn't hang him out a little bit in Game 5. And again, the head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs also addressed this. There could have been a shot block in here. Maybe there's more attention to the shot coming from Chabot on the point. But that goes off the shoulder of Anthony Stolarz. He did not see that. But clearly, Ottawa saw something in that overtime winner scored by Jake Sanderson that they feel that it was worth trying again.
You watch all the games. There's 2 a night that go in like that. There's not a lot. And you talked about manufacturing or having to manufacture offense. That's what you got to do. Get it back to the point, and the defenseman has to get the puck through.
I'm not sure there's doubts on Stolarz, right? Like you said, he didn't see much. But what has happened at the other end is more fascinating because there was a lot of doubts on Ullmark and his horrendous playoff record when they were down 0-3 and better in Game 4, terrific in Game 5. And here's a guy that has shown that he can get streaky and stand on his head and steal a couple.
That's the key. If you're Ottawa, you are loving where Ullmark is trending.
Loving.
And he has gone through some stretches this year already where he's gone, 8 games with a .960 save percentage. And if he's able to run off games like that 4 in a row, that could be enough to get them back in the series. Toronto had some looks. We chronicled not a ton of them, but they had some looks. But not only is he making the saves, he made them look comfortable, controlling the rebounds, no big scrambles, really limiting the amount of energy the Leafs were playing with or the building had. And what I would be worried about if I'm Toronto is this guy is a guy who can get hot for long stretches, or it looks like right now he's heating up.
You talk to anybody in Ottawa, if that guy's dialed in and on his game, they have a real belief that they can win a hockey game. And I give him a ton of credit because his first presser after Game 1 was kind of goofy, talking about water and ducks. And I don't know what he was talking about, but it looked like a nervy response. And I was like, this guy's out of sorts right now. But he has got it together.
He talked about being a goldfish. And then he said water off a goose. And I tell you what, the goose is dry right now because Ullmark looks terrific. Let's hear from him. Here, Goose.
Yeah, definitely. We've been saying that we just take it one game at a time. We don't focus on what's ahead of us. We just try to stick with it, trust the process in a way. And, guys pulled through today with a couple of huge defensive plays that kept them out of it.
Linus, you've had moments throughout the year where you've bounced back after tough stretches in your play. What does it mean to you, knowing that you still have more to go, to be in a spot where you bounce back after that first game and you play your best game of the series tonight?
It doesn't really matter when you're in a playoff series how you're doing. You can lose 1-0, you can lose 6-2, and still a loss in a way. My job is to stop pucks, and every night it's still about battling it out there with the other goalie and the other team and try to make more saves than the other guy and come up victorious. Sometimes I've said it as well that it comes down to lady luck as well when it comes to certain different areas of the game, but you gotta earn it. You gotta earn it every single night, and not thinking that's just gonna happen every night or something like that, because you never know. You look around in the league as well, and you look at the team that we're playing as well. They're a very high-skilled and offensive-minded team. So you got to stay patient every single night and don't take anything for granted.
Linus, the penalty kill has come up big for you guys the last 2 games compared to earlier in the series. What have you seen that's led to the success on the penalty kill lately?
We're doing the right things. We're putting pressure when pressure needs to be put. We're winning face-off as well, and we're clearing the pucks when we get the possession of it as well. And whenever you play PK and you're not managing the puck, when you actually do have a couple extra or 1 or 2 extra seconds out there and get it deep, it's tough because now all of a sudden you're scrambling a little bit more than if you get the puck all the way down 200 feet.
Just your back there.
Hey, Linus, Travis Green was saying the other day that a lot of people were doubting you early in the series with the way it started. I'm wondering, how do you deal with that? Do you hear it? Does it fire you up? How do you process that in a playoff series?
I don't know. Just take it what it is. I don't really read media nowadays. Something that I learned throughout my career as well, that it doesn't really matter what you guys say or anything like that. It's all about what's being said in the locker room and what we need to be doing. And there's always going to be people doubting you. It's always going to be people that have your back. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of stay away from it. And like I said before, like, you just have to focus on one game at a time. Now we won this one. We're going back to Ottawa. But we can't be satisfied with the way that we played this tonight. We can enjoy that we had the results with us tonight. But then there's a new game. It's a game 6. So we got to do it all over again.
Toronto Maple Leafs captain Austin Matthews.
I thought, we started well, good chances. I thought, just the execution at times wasn't there. Obviously, you get the first goal, and, we were just kind of chasing the game from there. But, I thought we did good things. But then, in the end, there's little plays, execution. It's the small details, and they made good on their chances. And, here we are. We've been a good road team all season. I don't think there's any panic in this room. Obviously, we win 3, they win 2. It's the ups and downs of playoffs. We've been here before, and we're just going to put our best foot forward, going to the next game with confidence. Like I said, we've been a great road team all season long, and we're just going to put our best foot forward.
What's going on in the power play right now? A couple of games with shorthanded goals going in. What's your sense of it?
Yeah, I think just kind of forcing some stuff, and I think we just got to get back to simplicity and outnumbering guys at the net, getting some pucks through, and going from there. I thought we had good looks in the first 1 or 2, some good chances, and then I just thought we kind of got away from that and forced some plays that doesn't help.
Austin, what did you make of the way Linus Ullmark played in this one?
Yeah, he played good. I thought we had some good chances, some good opportunities. I thought at times and stretches throughout the game we could have done a better job of, getting more guys to the net and making it a little bit tougher on him. But he made some key saves when he had to, and we'll be better the next game and get some more bodies in front of them. And this time of year it's greasy goals. It's not the prettiest of things. So that's the way we got to kind of approach it.
You guys that have been through this, do you think there's anything you can do to keep the confidence up that you've learned over the years going into this next game?
Yeah, it's, we're not looking in the rearview mirror. It's about the next day, the next game. Like I said, we've been a great road team all season long, and, we're a confident group in here. So, we got to put this one behind us, learn from it. We're in a good spot here, and we just want to go in there and be a focused group. We're going to be ready to go and go from there.
What is your sense of the group overall, just after the last two games, also with the chance to close it out?
Yeah, I think everybody's fine in here. Like I said, the playoffs is, it's a roller coaster. It's going to be ups and downs, and it's about, staying as even-keeled as you possibly can and making adjustments when you need to, and just about everybody, digging in, looking in the mirror, and just being a little bit better next game.
What did you see on that?
He sounds confident. They say all the right things. That phrase, they're not looking in the rearview mirror, though. How can it not creep into your mind? And if it's not the players, at least in Leafs Nation, what are the next 2 days going to be like, knowing what has happened here in the past?
I don't necessarily need a Mark Messier type comment right there, but a lot of the comments were the same as what we've heard from John Tavares in the past. Execution, details, got to put our best foot forward. I just liked what he said at the end. We got to look in the mirror, and we all got to be better going to Ottawa. I would have just said that and walked away. We will be better. Because all the other stuff, it's what it's been said after every game. We're going to learn from this. We're going to execute. It's all the same stuff. Anybody could say it.
And he's not wrong. I think they had more road wins than any year in franchise history this year with 25. So they have been a good road team.
Then just say that. Just say that. We've been a great road team all year. A bunch of guys got to dig in and look in the mirror and be better. End of story. All the rest of it's nonsense.
The fans.
It's going to be loud the next 2 days.
Because I've already heard it from the text.
It's going to be wild.
It's
going to be wild. It's going to be exactly the way Ottawa wants it to be.
Sure. Ottawa's just loving every bit of this.
All the pressure.
And James, I heard you talk
noise.
before we came on the air. You said sooner or later they're just going to look at each other and say, yeah, let's just do this. Maybe we're going to do. You would think that they would be at that point right now, instead of dragging it out.
Well, if they're truly a different team, we're going to find out in Game 6, or we're going to find out in Game 7. And I don't want to raise this because there's still a Game 6 and a Game 7. But the possibility of what could happen here, if the Sens pull this off, After this would be the
overdrive will be insane.
If
I won't be on overdrive anymore, so it doesn't matter to me. I'll retire.
Again, two massive wins it will take for the Ottawa Senators to get there. But again, from where we were just 2 days ago to where we are right now, this is